Start taking a look at some top local news. Speaking at the cabinet media briefing today, co-cabinet spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawarddena said the cabinet had granted approval to provide fertilizer concession for all farmers from the Yala season this year. And also co-cabinet spokesperson Minister Ramesh Pathiruna said the cabinet also approved the purchase of 500 new buses under the Indian loan scheme. This was announced by co-cabinet spokesperson Minister Ramesh Pathiruna. In some latest news, the mayor of Matale, Daljit Alvihare, was arrested by police this morning over an assault. Now stay with Newsfirst for the latest developments on that story as well. In more local news, following a discussion at the ministry, Minister of Power and Energy Mahinda Amaraweera spoke to media. This is what he had to say.
25,000 rupees is usually given as compensation to those who lost their lives due to accidents. But we have decided to pay 50,000 rupees instead this time. An investigation is also going on. This is why the people have lost confidence in the judiciary. We regret it.
Up next are the views expressed by UNP MP Bandula Bandarigud at media briefing held in Galle yesterday.
Today they are going to bring two constitutional amendments to increase the power vested with the president, and it says state defence or the ministry of defence should be under the president. Our biggest question is whether the president, who is the younger brother, has any issues with the elder brother, who is the prime minister holding the post of minister of defence. So a decision to strip the ministry from the Prime Minister and hand it over to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa seems absurd. Is it because they don't have a mutual understanding or due to a conflict between them? Is that why the elder brother's appointments are cancelled by the younger one? Therefore, we don't have any problem in changing the shortcomings of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution or any other wrongdoings in the country. But we will never let to erase the pillars of democracy and let them pave the path for a dictatorship in the country.
The governor of the Western Province said that Governor of the Central Province said that a plan to ban polythene and plastics is underway within the Kandy city limits.
Thanks to
the Akurana Pradesh Sabha, mechanism to completely destroy plastic and polythene was implemented. In the Gampala issue, the Gampala community had stated that all the plastic and polythene should be sent there as well. All the plastic and polythene that gets accumulated in Kandy could also be accumulated to that area. I spoke with the Commissioner of the Municipal Council. I would like to report the legal status of polythene and plastic bans in Kandy, especially in the urban areas. We hope to make a very tough decision as to whether or not the polythene and plastic mitigation is possible in the near future.
ප්ලාස්ටික් අවම කිරීමේ හැකියාව එහෙම නැත්නම් මොකද්ද කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන කාරණේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි තාමත් දැඩි තීන්දුවක් ගන්න බලාපොරොත්තු.
Still local news, Commander of Air Force Air Marshal Sumangala Dias says that he has received an interim report on the committee appointed to investigate the accident which occurred in the ice peel area in Haputale. He said that according to the report, the cause of the accident is yet to be ascertained.
According to the report, the committee appointed to investigate the accident informed the commander of the Air Force that the engine and the components of the crashed plane should be further examined. The parts have been sent to the Aviation Engineering Wing of the Sri Lanka Air Force Base in Katunayaka for further inspection. Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sumangala Dias said that he will receive the final report of the committee within a month. The 6-member committee is headed by Air Vice Marshal Prasanna Payo. The Air Force Y-12 aircraft crashed in Haputale, killing 4 officers of the Air Force.